This is, without a doubt, one of the most harrowing subjects I have ever covered on this channel. There exists a subreddit known as r/trace-an-object. At first glance, the posts appear to be random, cropped images of different household objects. In some cases, we can see a full shot of a room, but certain objects have been censored out. Take this one for example. The caption reads, January 18th, 2025. This t-shirt appears to be from a sports club. Is it familiar to you? The comments are all attempting to help the poster in identifying the origin of the shirt, potentially tracing it back to a sports team from Ireland. If you scroll further, you'll find even stranger posts. This one shows the white silhouette of a person standing outside somewhere. Through the help of commenters, the image's location was traced back to a small coastal village in southwest Madagascar. The image, known as C20, is estimated to have been produced around 2002 to 2004. This 2-year period was significant to the area for one particular reason. During this time, hotels and bars in the area were reported to have an increase in sex tourism, specifically with people who were not adults. The subreddit r/trace-an-object is in support of the FBI and Europol, specifically the Endangered Child Alert Program. The images we are seeing are taken from content like CP. The idea is to have the subreddit community identify things in the background of these images, shirts, landmarks, brands, anything to help figure out where the images are taking place so that law enforcement can get to the bottom of it. Take for example the aforementioned C20. The location the image was taken was identified from the background. It was geolocated to Siem Reap, Cambodia, near a small village. Satellites were able to match the tin roof in the photos to many of the houses in the area, before indicators like the trees and the power lines in the background gave them their match. This case, thanks to the help of r/trace-an-object, has since been closed. The same can be said, however, for a number of cases on the subreddit. Looking at the open cases like this truly evokes a feeling of distress as I ask myself who would do something like this, and I'm reminded that man is the most evil thing on the planet. This photograph shows a young man looking back at a camera and smiling. His arm is slightly blurred, almost like he was waving before lowering his hand mid-photo. The caption reads, "Last photo taken of my older brother as he was leaving for college. He was a victim of a drinking and driving incident. I miss him every day." The OP then goes on to explain in the comments that his brother was only 21 at the time of his death. Many who have viewed the photo say that it gives them a feeling of immense sadness, even without the context. Almost as if it is a scene from a movie, and the man is a character waving goodbye before going on an exciting journey. This is just one of the countless numbers of photographs posted to r/last-images. As the title may suggest, this subreddit is full of photographs showcasing people who are now deceased. In all cases, these were the last photographs ever taken of the individual. Sometimes the photos are more expected, like this man and his father who was battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer during the time of this photo. In other cases, the individual's death came without warning, like this one that shows two brothers sitting at a kitchen table together. The one on the right is laughing, while the one on the left looks at him with admiration. The brother on the left had taken his life not too long after this moment. The subreddit as a whole seems to be a celebration of the lives of those who have since passed. In that regard, it's very endearing. Nonetheless, scrolling down the page is very haunting, seeing so many photographs of people smiling, happy, holding the hands of a loved one. It's all a gentle reminder of our immortality. We don't last forever, and we don't get to pick when we go. Hold the people you love close, and remind them how much they mean to you. You never know when it'll be the last time. I don't normally like to show my face in videos like this, but I have something very important to share with you guys. Statistically speaking, one of you guys watching this, whether it be yourself or a loved one, will fall victim to, say, something like a car crash. And that something might not even be your fault. Insurance companies will often fight to withhold payouts because, despite what you may think, they're not on your side. But that's where Morgan & Morgan steps in, America's largest personal injury law firm. They represent individuals like you, individuals like me, and help us get the insurance money that we deserve if we become their client. And not to mention, they have achieved significant verdicts in the past couple of months for victims involved in life-altering car crashes, like $12 million in Florida, which is 35 times the highest insurance offer, and $26 million in Philadelphia, which is 40 times the highest insurance offer. And get this, the fee is absolutely free unless you win. So if you've been seriously injured, do not settle for less. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan by visiting the link in the description below, www.forthepeople.com/sinister. Or to make it even easier, you can scan this QR code with your phone's camera right here. Stay safe out there, guys. Take care of yourselves, and a huge thank you to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. I think the title probably gives it away, but r/cursed images is home to a collection of truly disturbing photographs. One of the most infamous photos to surface on the subreddit is known as the Cursed Watcher. The photo shows a humanoid head sticking out from underneath a bathroom stall. It's clear, however, that this thing is not human. The eyes are lifeless, and the hair looks like a wig. It looks very reminiscent of some sort of mannequin. And that's because it is. The image comes from a video titled "Peeking into Bathroom Stalls Prank." Try saying that 10 times fast. The video was uploaded by Average Bro TV and is currently unlisted. I was able to find the link where we can see the same mannequin head from the cursed image being used by the YouTuber to scare people as they use the bathroom. Another popular image circulated around the subreddit is called Cursed Inside. It shows an ultrasound, but something is clearly off. There appears to be some sort of face smack dab in the middle of the image. Many people were horrified, stating that the baby has turned into a monster. The fact of the matter is, the image comes from a man who has been struggling with a testicular tumor. What we are seeing is an ultrasound of the man's testicle. It may cause you some comfort to know that the man opted to have this testicle removed. Not every photograph, however, is outright disturbing. Take, for example, this photo of a person on a moped in the middle of a bathroom. Or how about this one of a man in a Scrat costume from Ice Age? Despite this, there are some featured images on this subreddit that are truly terrifying, like this one, which we have covered before, or whatever the hell this is. Fortunately, there is an extensive list of rules that users on the subreddit must abide by, such as no porn or fetish material, and no gore or injury. These rules have made the subreddit a relatively easy to navigate place, but every once in a while, you'll stumble upon something quite sinister. The following subreddit, known as r/deathfeedists, was so taboo that Reddit has since shut it down. It served as a hub for a specific group of people who shared the similar aspiration, 'eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating themselves to death and documenting it on the internet. 'Eating The term commonly used to describe this phenomenon is death feedism. Some have attributed it to something sexual, while others view it as a means of taking control of their life. Specifically, by eating yourself to death, you more or less get to choose how you spend your final years. Most of the time, people engaging in feederism will employ the help of a feeder, or someone responsible for fattening them up. In some cases, the feedee will become completely submissive to the feeder. As the feedee gains more weight, they become less able to do regular day-to-day tasks, such as walking or moving around on their own. As I mentioned, while r/death feedists has been banned, there does exist an alarming amount of related subreddits that are still active to this day. r/gainers has become a new outlet for people posting about their weight gain. Oftentimes, a post will contain a before and after photograph. The first shows a skinnier figure, while the next one shows a heavier figure. The comments on photos like these usually show support for the poster, and more often than not, there are sexual undertones. Another subreddit carrying the torch is r/feederism, but this one is a little different. While the content is similar to r/gainers, r/feederism only allows female content. As you can imagine, because of this, the comments are more often than not highly explicit. I want to put emphasis on this. These communities are not scary because they involve plus-size people, but the fact that so much of it is motivated by the promise of death. It's also been debated among many critics of the community that feeding is a form of abuse, as in most cases, feedees become completely dependent on their feeders. Regardless, Reddit saw something in r/death feedists that was enough to erase it from the platform entirely. I don't have the exact answer, but I know that many of these communities, given their sexual nature, bar anyone underage from joining. Not putting that rule into play might have gotten r/death feedists banned. The description of this subreddit reads, "A place for people to share the strange and disturbing PMs they get from all over the internet. We encourage all kinds of posts, from mildly off-putting to slightly weird to downright scary." The subreddit this description belongs to is none other than r/creepypms. If you've ever questioned your faith in humanity, look no further. Some of the common posts revolve around people trolling scammers, like in this post, where the OP questions the validity of the scammers, claiming that they can destroy their phone unless they do whatever the scammer says. As you may assume, the scammer has no actual control over the phone. Things become a bit darker as we see this man trying to meet up with a woman. When she denies his request, he calls her fatty and then compliments his, member. But perhaps one of the darkest aspects of this page are the posts revolving around stalkers. If you search this word specifically, a high volume of results pop up. A majority of the posts are screenshots from messages involving the victim and their stalker. Reading through some of these has left me feeling disturbed. Most of them involve threats or bodily harm and other physical things that I can't talk about on here. But the issue of stalking has become so prevalent that the Creepy PMs Reddit has a community bookmark for people dealing with this issue. Clicking on the link will give you a breakdown of how to detect stalking and resources for those experiencing it. Long story short, if the deplorable actions of others disgusts you, I recommend staying far away from r/creepy PMs. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to check out this video, and if you enjoy content like this, please make sure to subscribe to Something Sinister.